Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy show. Govy, we're here in our new podcast studio. We left Pod Populi, our last show. If you watched it, we ended at 27 minutes because the mics broke. We've had it. We got our money back. We're moving on. We're here at Stella Mix in Delray Beach, Florida, and we have a beautiful soundproof studio here, and we're back at a desk. I like sitting at a desk. I just have to sit up straight here and pay attention. Anyway, we're jumping right into the show because the news is hot off of the tape. The Federal Reserve lowered interest rates a half a point, 50 bips. And for me, having been in the real estate business for 40 years, that's very concerning. They had a 4-year increase in rates. And all of a sudden, everybody was expecting on Wall Street a quarter of a point. They drop at a half a point, which tells me that the economy, the underlying economy, the car dealers, the home builders, the commercial real estate, the office buildings, the hotels are in trouble. And the biggest borrower is the federal government. Interest by the government is $1 trillion a year. So you can imagine when they raised rates from 4%, 2% to 8%, that the federal government is paying twice as much to borrow money. Govy, obviously, is the king of watches. Does this affect your business at all? Are there people, now that people are going to be paying less than interest on their debt, will they come out and start buying watches again and drive the prices to watches crazy?
Well, a lot of the watches came down, the high end, like the Rolexes
Right.
and stuff. But when they came down, they didn't come down below retail. They're still above retail on a lot of these prices.
It's crazy.
So will it be a little bit more competition, the prices? Look, everything comes into play. I think yesterday, Donald Trump going in and doing a Bitcoin transaction legitimizes even more Bitcoin to the world. And I think that we do business with a lot of people with Bitcoin. So,
well, where did he get the Bitcoin? He bought Bitcoin? I missed the whole story.
I'm a little confused. I think someone opened him up with a Bitcoin account.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And he paid. It was the first transaction that the ex-president bought something with Bitcoin. So
he's all into it.
But if he's 76 years old, 77 years old, and you're watching him get involved in it, he's basically saying Bitcoin's here for the duration. You don't have to think so I think that is going to be a big thing.
So they lower these interest rates a half a point. Obviously, people are in trouble, and I hope we're in for what they call a soft landing rather than a hard landing where the plane comes down and crashes into the ground. The plane will land softly. So this week has been I wanted to start with that, and this week's been a crazy week. We started out the week with Donald Trump almost being assassinated for a second time. It was an unbelievable story. As we spoke on the show, I'm at that golf course all the time, and those trees are so lush. It's hard to believe a Secret Service agent would see the barrel of a gun.
Well, first of all, I got to start off with, in our past shows, if you were listening, I did a show on the word unprecedented before. This word comes up now every single week because it's unprecedented that the feds lowered the rates 30 days or 40 days from an election.
Do you think that it's corrupt? I mean, the fact that they
politics.
lowered
It's never happened ever before,
right.
So it's unprecedented. A president being an attempted assassination twice has never happened before within 30 days. A president that was an ex-president that was indicted 100 times has never happened before. There's all this stuff is unprecedented, but politics came into play, I do believe, on the rates coming down.
Well, how about this guy that tried to assassinate Trump? Who the hell is this guy? I mean, he's flying to Ukraine. He's flying to Hawaii. He lives in Hawaii. He lives in North Carolina. Guy doesn't have a job. Is there a conspiracy there?
Yeah. My gut feeling on this whole thing is when the country tells you that Donald Trump is Hitler, because there's no one worse than Hitler. When someone says he's Hitler, he must be stopped at all costs. And one even said, you have to eliminate him. And all these words, and you say this for 6 years. I look at it like this. In the 1940s, if someone saw Hitler and they can kill Hitler, would the guy be considered a criminal who took out Hitler, or would the guy be a hero who took out
I guess
Hitler?
a hero.
Right. So now, don't you think there's some people out there that are being told these messages that are maybe weak-minded, that all they're hearing from everybody is, he must be stopped. Democracy is on the line. Maybe they're thinking they're a hero if they take this guy out.
So you don't think it was an orchestrated event? You think it was like some kook that,
Not kook. I think that the FBI and the CIA monitor all these a lot of the crazy people. Some go through the cracks. This guy didn't go through the cracks. This guy was on CBS News. They interviewed him in Ukraine. There was people that were in Ukraine that knew who this guy was, they thought he was dangerous. This is a guy that was on the FBI radar. And maybe they thought, we got a weak-minded person here, and we could literally manipulate this guy to do something stupid. And he's a pawn in the realm of everything. He's just a life that could take out a president. Maybe they found the guy in Butler, Pennsylvania. Maybe he was a weak-minded kid that they took advantage of. And you know what? They shot him immediately. They cleaned up the roof. They had an autopsy.
Yeah, they got rid of all the evidence on that guy.
Right. And the Secret Service still isn't talking. So to this day, you have Democrats and Republicans basically saying that they're being stonewalled by the Secret Service. So is there something, do you trust? Why is Governor DeSantis having his own investigation? Because he said, I can't trust the government investigating him.
So, yeah, that's why DeSantis got involved. And, it's interesting. Trump fights with all these people, and then somehow he makes up with everybody. And now DeSantis is really going to figure this out.
Right.
Because he's not the federal government. He's not the DOJ. He's not Merrick Garland. DeSantis is going to do his own investigation. But the interesting part about the whole story is this woman. Where'd she come from that photographed the license plate? I guess the Secret Service shot at the guy when he was there, when he spotted the guy, which was great. The Secret Service this time didn't say, yo, buddy, what are you doing over there? He just pulled out his gun and shot him.
Right.
He took off, and this woman saw a guy running across after the shots and jumped in her car, followed the guy.
And then took a picture of the license plate.
Right.
Which is, by the way, that's a miracle in itself.
I'm surprised they didn't charge her for texting and driving,
But there were 3 miracles that took place that day. One, a Secret Service saw the barrel of a AK-47
Russian gun, right?
From 300 yards away.
Right.
So, and I was on that course with you, and you know what? I didn't see the Secret Service sitting there with binoculars looking.
It's interesting. So, look, I've been there 20 years. They always had dogs, with Trump. Right. So if they had a dog there, that dog would have smelled the guy. But they didn't have dogs with them. Why didn't they have dogs?
I don't even think they had a drone.
Yeah.
And then they gave you some story where they didn't know that Donald Trump would be playing golf that day.
Let me
I'm going to say,
okay.
Right. They didn't know he was
You're setting me up.
I am. I'm letting you explain. They didn't know that Donald Trump was playing golf that particular day, and that was their excuse. Now, Cutty over here, since he's at this club a lot, he could tell you exactly what transpired. Right. So tell me.
So my friend Donald Trump doesn't have a big ego. Not at all. But he does leave his giant 737 jet. 57 jet on the runway, and on the side of it, the size of a bus, is the Barrett. If you could put it up, I'll send you the picture of his plane, is the name Trump. So when you get off of Southern Boulevard and you're going into the golf course, you see his plane. It's parked right on I-95. So that's the telltale sign he's in town.
Okay.
Now he plays golf every day at that golf course. They're saying this guy's a genius. He had inside information. I'm giving you the inside baseball here, folks. If the plane's there, Trump's there.
And Mar-a-Lago from the course is how far?
It's 3 miles, 4 miles. It's not like his kids are borrowing the plane. That plane only moves when he's in it.
Okay.
I'm assuming. So now he travels from his house, Mar-a-Lago, to the golf course in a 12 to 20 car motorcade. So it's not like he's invisible.
Right.
So
he's
it's
not sneaking into the golf course.
Yeah, he's not like sneaking in a red Subaru, with like something over him. So we have these 2 points. His plane's there. We know he's in town. We know he's going to play golf. And the second thing is you can see his motorcade. And across from the golf course, there's always 20 people with flags and Trump hats screaming and looking for a photograph with him. So, I mean, this guy was, he set all that up and he's laying in wait for him.
And what's the neighborhood like by Trump?
Oh, so interesting story. So Donald Trump's house was right under Mar-a-Lago, was right under the flight path of the Palm Beach International Airport. I guess that's when it was only worth $18 million because the planes. I mean, literally, when you were at Mar-a-Lago, you could almost touch the bottom of these
You
planes.
can read the numbers on the bottom.
Oh my God, it was like deafening. He sued Palm Beach County to have the flight path changed. And as a settlement, they gave him 200 acres adjacent to the airport, and they leased it to him for 100 years. And that's what he made the golf course. So it's very close to his house. I mean, and it's very, very lush. A guy could hide in those woods for a little bit of time.
But this is where the photographers generally take the pictures.
It's the only spot you can on the main road.
And that's the most dangerous spot on the course because it's on the main road. The other one is actually in the heart of the golf course.
Right.
It doesn't border anything.
But I have to tell you another well-known secret. I'm not telling you military secrets. I mean, when he shows up at the golf course, I'm assuming, I don't know, the greenskeeper is alerted, so you're not mowing the lawn when he's there. The chef is alerted to have his lunch or his breakfast there. The manager's alert. I'm assuming everybody's alerted. The king is coming. And get ready for him.
And he doesn't ever have to worry about slow play in front of him.
No, he always he always has people push him. But the point is, if there's 100 people that's working there, I hope the FBI is talking to everybody and finding out, what their relationship is. Maybe that guy got tipped off by one of these people that mow the lawn there.
Well, the guy flew in from Hawaii, I think something, and he's taking a gun and he sat there for 12 hours. I mean, it's the whole thing is a little bizarre that it could happen twice. And, people have trust issues with this administration. From Garland to the CIA to Ray.
Wouldn't it be crazy if there was a connection between this guy and Crooks, the first guy? If there was emails back and forth or texts or phone calls?
Well, there is a crazy stuff and I would have to check it. But, Blackstone did a commercial years ago. And the kid from Butler, Pennsylvania, he was in this commercial for Blackstone. And I'm hearing that this guy was in a commercial for Blackstone. So what are the odds of two guys that are trying to assassinate the president are in commercials?
It's crazy. I mean, yeah. And so it's almost like the FBI, because the Secret Service seems like it's cooperating. The FBI isn't.
Right.
It's almost like they're feeding these conspiracy theories. They clean the roof. They cremate the guy. This guy.
They had Hunter Biden's laptop 2 years before the thing. They didn't release it. There's so much stuff that the FBI has. I mean, Hillary Clinton, 38,000 emails.
Yeah, that was a mistake. They didn't mean to delete them.
Yeah.
But, that leads me to P. Diddy. You and I had a spirited argument about P. Diddy and his arrest, and you said he'll never see the day of light. And my point of view, I'm on the other side. I say P. Diddy has the goods. He has Barack Obama having sex with a boy or somebody, and he has the goods on Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and all these big stars in Hollywood, Will Smith, whatever, and boom, he's going to make a deal and get out.
I don't know. I think that they have him dead left to right.
You think he really flew to New York to turn himself? First of all, my argument to Govy was, Govy said, well, they got the tapes out of the house. I said, they got the bad tapes. The good tapes he's got hidden somewhere else.
There was lots of tapes and lots of houses, but I'll tell you something. He had he had male prostitutes sleeping with drugged guests, female guests. So he drugged them. Then he had these male prostitutes. So he has them in videos that can come back to future blackmail. Not just women, men with female prostitutes. That he has Hollywood. He has big stars that know that he has.
This is bigger than Epstein. You think?
Much bigger. This guy ran a studio of tapes that he watched all the time.
Wow.
I mean, Epstein never had 1,000 bottles of lube sitting around.
Yeah, so you think he has Barack Obama doggy style?
I don't
you
think he has
know?
Barack Obama. I think he would be too nervous.
He
of
has
him.
Oprah Winfrey and Barack
I don't
Obama.
think he has. But I think he has. You saw the video of him in the hallway beating up,
Oh God!
and that was like the beginning. So I think that he has. I think he has some politicians, local politicians, maybe some sheriffs. Other people in Hollywood, stars, big stars.
Don't you think Beyonce and Jay-Z are part of this mess?
Well, since we're talking conspiracies here the whole time, some people believe that Ben Affleck wanted a divorce from J-Lo because he was tipped off that P. Diddy's going down and that there's tapes maybe
of J-Lo.
Of J-Lo.
100%. She was involved with him when he shot that guy or the gun trial,
right?
She
thought
wasn't there a shooting or something?
Yeah.
And she hid the gun and everybody got
she
off
was
or
that was
something?
his girlfriend, was J-Lo at the time. So I think
So let me ask you this question, Govy.
Yes.
You're dating J-Lo. Okay, you're engaged to J-Lo, and you find this backstory out. When you're dating her, she was dating P. Diddy, and she was whatever. Now you find the FBI, why they would tip him off, tells you this. You breaking up with her? Or
no,
you
he was
sticking in
married
it?
to her. And if the FBI said, I just want you to know.
Ben, Govy, I want you to know.
I want you to know that we have tapes of
her doing 3 guys.
Yeah, or J-Lo doing this, and also her bringing friends over to a party. She brought people over that were drugged. That maybe not that she knew it was going to happen, but she has actually victims that she brought over there.
And they say Ellen DeGeneres involved too, because Ellen DeGeneres was on his show. I mean, he was on her show multiple times. He would go on his birthday and everything.
He was there with Hillary Clinton and bring out the vote. He was standing there with.
He's got to get off.
He was standing there, bring out the vote. He was major for Biden to try to, get those,
So don't you think he makes a plea deal? He's like, dude, the good tapes I've hidden. You got the bad tapes. The good tapes of Menendez, Obama.
I think P. Diddy thought that when they first arrested him, like 2 months ago, and they had the plane and he was in the Bahamas. Remember, he left and he went to the Bahamas. I think he's sitting in jail right now and he's thinking, I should have left. I should have done a Roman Polanski.
Get on my G650.
Boom, I'm in Switzerland. Pull Roman Polanski.
Dubai.
Roman Polanski, by the way,
right,
is, if you ask him, did you make a mistake? And he would tell you, I didn't want to go to jail. So,
all right, let me throw this out at you, Govy. You're Merrick Garland. You get a phone call from whoever it is in charge of this case. We got a problem. What's the problem? Well, when Kamala Harris was dating Montel Williams, there's a video out there with P. Diddy and, 6 guys. What do you want us to do?
I don't know. I think there would be.
There's something like that out there.
I think
it's the only way he would turn himself in.
I think what's worse is I think there might be a tape of Brown.
Willie Brown,
because he was Hollywood at the time. I think there's more of a Brown and Kamala Harris, maybe, at some of these places.
Now, I'm a Democrat, Govy, but I have to tell you, as low as they can go, now they're bringing nude photographs of Melania Trump when she was a nude model. It's disgusting. I mean, these guys will just do anything. I'm leaving my party, folks.
It is. It's unbelievable.
How can you beat up on this woman now? Her husband's been shot twice. She's trying to keep her kid in first year of college. I mean, her mother just died. The frig are you messing with her now? I mean...
And the media, if the media runs something juicy, just film Hunter Biden. I mean, they covered up on Hunter Biden. He has more pictures and videos of him than Melania Trump did modeling stuff.
I mean, it's hard. You have these people like, P. Diddy and all these other crazies, the assassin, crooks, and you're picking on Melania Trump. Leave her alone.
Look, the power that they have, look at it this way. The Teamsters that Donald Trump thanked the guy that was running the Teamsters, the head guy. But the guy didn't do Donald Trump any justice, because they took a vote of all the Teamsters. Donald Trump got 60-some% of the Teamsters wanted Donald Trump. When the head of the Teamsters got the results, it was only like 30-some or 40% for
Kamala.
They then made like we're not endorsing anybody, when in reality the endorsement should have been for Donald Trump.
Well, they couldn't endorse him, but they did put the vote out. They did say 60-40.
Right, which is a big deal that Trump has that.
Right.
And by the way, Trump had a rally in Uniondale, New York yesterday, and there were literally 90,000 people, 18,000 inside, and there was the rest were outside, and they weren't from all over the country. They were from Long Island. This election is going to have Republican congresspeople are going to feed off of this ticket in New York. The reason why the Republicans control the House is because of New York congresspeople. The Republicans did better than they ever thought.
Right.
He has a shot to win New York.
That would be unbelievable if he wins. That thing last night in Long Island, that rally was great.
Well, let me ask you a question. If the guy wins New York, and he wins pretty big,
how can he win New York?
But let's say he wins. Let's say he ends up with 285 electoral votes out of the 270 that he needs. Would that make ABC News sit there and say, we better cover this guy because he's now the president? What happens to David Muir, who basically had to sit there? He had this debate, and one of his first couple questions are, why did you have to ask Kamala Harris if she's black? Like he drilled. It was like a hit job.
That was Donald Trump's fault. I told you, Donald, don't do that debate. You didn't listen to me. It's his own fault. He went into a rigged deal. And, Govy, I'm going to take the other side of this. Enough whining already of the Republicans. The Republicans are whining, the press, the debate, the bad question. Republicans, stop whining. Shut up.
I'll tell you where Republicans were
You can't whine. You know the deal.
I'll tell you where Republicans were disappointed in Donald Trump. The guy, first of all, what he's going through, no human being could do what he went through.
Nobody.
With everything. So
I'm flattened from this podcast moving around.
Right. So, I mean, this guy has energy. I mean, he went on Greg Gutfeld yesterday.
Last night, but
it was actually at 4:00. He did the rally afterwards.
Oh, I didn't know.
So he went from Gutfeld to the rally, and the guy doesn't miss a beat, and it was a great rally. You sit there, and the only thing that he disappointed me was, I thought he would have attacked David Muir. Like some people said, how come he didn't go after the commentators?
Right, he should have just.
He didn't want to go down that lane, but he should have been prepared to attack ABC and say, "Hey, listen, the cards are stacked against me right here." Even that,
maybe do half the debate, be eloquent.
Even Martha Raddatz on a Sunday, sits there and says, when Kamala Harris basically said, there is not one U.S. soldier in harm's way. First time in a century. That was like, you didn't have to fact check that. David Muir should know right off the bat. He could have said, that's a lie.
But, we are podcast superstars, but I'm not giving up, my beliefs. Well, those were his beliefs, but why do they prostitute themselves so much? Why doesn't he just come out and do a straight up interview, questions, rather than, be a piece of shit in the bag like he was?
Who, David Muir?
Yeah. And the girl.
His reputation went down on this.
Yeah.
He hurt his reputation. He
terrible.
thinks with the thing. I think ABC, did you see the ratings went down afterwards?
I hope so.
I was an ABC watcher because I had no choice. It's like, you got to pick your poison between NBC, CBS, and I just went with ABC. I can't watch ABC right now. It's like, I don't want to.
I hope that someday.
Where's Walter Cronkite?
Yeah. I hope that someday the Miami police pull over David Muir and give him the same treatment they gave Tyreek Hill.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, give him a Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, give him a From now on, we're calling it, you got a Tyreek Hill tonight. How about that story? Is that the craziest thing?
Yeah, that was, but I knew it would come out that this police officer, the way he handled Tyreek Hill, I knew that he probably had all these charges against him for,
So the way I understand this story, because we know the agent, Rosenhaus, Drew
Drew.
Rosenhaus. But the way the story was, they came up to the car, he put his window down a little to communicate with the police, and he got his agent on the phone. Look, this kid's 30 years old. He's making $140 million.
That's why I put the the window up.
He's from the ghetto. He doesn't know about this stuff, so he puts the window up and calls his agent and says, "I'm going to get arrested here. What do I do? What do I do?" So sure enough, as soon as he put the window up, that cop went nuts.
Right.
Can you believe they yanked him out of the car like that?
Well, first of all,
what would you do if they yanked you out of the car like that?
Well, first of all, I would have had my window would have been down. I don't come into those situations where Tyreek Hill was a little defiant. So he didn't, I don't know. I just treat a police officer very yes, sir, no, sir. I don't look to get into a fight, especially when I know I drove 60 miles an hour in a 35.
They didn't have a radar detector.
But he knows he would. Listen, you know what?
I think it was 60, the cop said.
And you're weaving through people that are going to the game, that are tailgating. It's dangerous. I mean, there was no benefit for him to have to speed or drive recklessly.
Okay, time out.
But they knew it was Tyreek Hill because they ran his license.
Okay, time out. Let's walk a mile in this kid's shoes. He grew up in the ghetto poor, dirt poor. Now, all of a sudden, he's in the NFL. He's making a fortune. He doesn't, he's not experienced in the world. And
well, he does have a kid every 855 yards receiving. He pops up.
Yeah,
they pop
he has
out
like
a kid.
10 kids. He has like 10 kids.
He has as many kids as he has yards, 1,000 yards. If he has 10,000 yards, then he has 10 kids.
But can you imagine? He just had his knee reconstructed. If they busted his knee up, what kind of lawsuit Miami Dolphins would have against the city of Miami? I mean, it's insane.
It is.
But why? But isn't you have 5 motorcycle cops, all big dudes. If you just surrounded the car and somebody opened the door, do you literally have to yank a guy? I'm a law and order guy. I like the police. I've always respected them. But do you really need to yank a guy out of the car like that?
Especially when you had 3 teammates there that are pretty big offensive linemen. So, I mean, if you see a 6'5" guy, 350 pounds, hey, this guy's a Miami Dolphin. I mean, the only thing this cop didn't do is pull his gun.
Yeah, but I mean,
he probably was close. He probably thought about it, or the stun gun him or something like that. But
it's pretty terrible though that hopefully, the video played a million different times, and all these kids in America see comply. You get pulled over. I think if he rolled his window down, look, the police are concerned because his windows were really darked out that anybody inside that car could have a gun and start shooting through the windows. So that's why they, wanted the window down. But, staying on that subject, Govy, because it is national news, the Philadelphia Eagles, what do you think of that game? Could be the biggest collapse in the NFL of the year, maybe.
It was just stupidity. I mean, do you know it was, I think, at 98.7% winning percentage in that situation. It's just unbelievable that game
so They lost folks in the last. If you haven't seen it, it's all over the place. Last minute and a half.
Right. It was, and the spread changed. So it went from the Eagles basically covering the spread to not covering the spread.
So it was kind of like a pass trick play. Would you have run the ball?
I would have run the ball twice. He's the best running back in the NFL. And by the way, who is the creator of the tush push? The Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
So all you had to do is get half a yard, and then you're in tush push neighborhood. So, I mean, and then if you'd miss it, the other team would have to go 60 yards to attempt a field goal that would tie the game, even if you didn't make it. They weren't looking for it. They didn't need a touchdown. You would have gone into overtime. The only reason why they went for the touchdown is because the points were 5.
Well, the side story is Bill Belichick, probably one of the greatest coaches at least, right, is on the sidelines, doesn't have a team, and he's in the booth. So he's giving all
I listened to it.
It was unbelievable.
Did you listen to the match?
Yeah.
These guys dissected.
They jumped up.
But they dissected the whole game. I never watched a game that I was so blown away on how they showed you everything. It was great. It was really fantastic. And by the way, they did not give high marks to this Sirianni. I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick's the coach of the Eagles next year.
Well, I was going to ask you. You own the Philadelphia Eagles. Belichick's sitting right there. Why don't you just hire him right now?
You
Fire Sirianni.
Season's in. You got a defensive coordinator that they have
Get
to change.
rid of him.
But anyway, I just got to move. I got to move on to my football picks since we're in football, and then
I'm
going to throw one other thing with you. My football last week.
How'd you do?
I went 3-2. The 3 games I won, they were blowout wins. Didn't have to worry about anything. The games I lost, Temple was down by 21 points in the first quarter. They ended up coming back just enough to cover a crazy far spread. Another one was a guy's foot, his toe was out of bounds, and they had to call. It was no touchdown, and that cost me a game. But other than that.
But you do understand at the end of the season, it's either a win or a loss. Everybody forgets about
3-2. I went 3-2.
So with the VIG, you broke even. There's no money changing.
Yeah, maybe we won a little bit of money, but we didn't lose, and we broke even. So this week, I just want you to know,
Eagles are dogs, underdogs.
Well, there's a game tonight. By the time you hear this, you might not get it out. But the Jets are -6 over New England. I like the New York Jets.
I do too.
Don't like them as a team, but they're going to win tonight's game.
Where's the game?
It's in New York.
Oh, Jets got
it. It's in New York.
That's a good bet.
I like the Cleveland Browns -6.5 over the New York Giants. I like the New Orleans Saints -2.5 over the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think that line moved. I think it's even more, but you're probably more on top of it than I am.
2.5. I got the Detroit Lions -3 over Arizona. I got Kansas City -3.5 over Atlanta.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I like Kansas City. And then
where's that game? Do you know?
That game is, I believe, in Kansas City.
Wow.
Oh, no, it's in Atlanta. It's in Atlanta.
I like Atlanta in that one.
No, I don't. They look horrible against the Eagles. The Eagles, they're horrible.
But they're coming. They're feeling good. They're feeling good.
I got college Syracuse -8.5 over Stanford. CMU over Ball State -6.5.
Yeah, that's a wild one.
Utah State -6.5 over Temple.
Oh, you got to go against Temple, right?
Arkansas +3 over Auburn. Auburn +3. Now they're my
Why
picks.
is that Temple game so close? 6 points?
Well, University of Miami beat Ball State. I think they put up 62 points against them.
That's true.
And beat them 62-7, and they're still favored over Temple.
Oh my God! I wonder where.
And they're still favored over Temple. But one thing I gotta bring up to you that I think is very important. In the world of espionage and spying and what's going on in the war, what Israel has accomplished in the last 3 days, we've never seen in the history of espionage and warfare. I mean, it was unbelievable that, do you know, this was 2 years in the making. 2 years in the making, they opened up a fake messaging beeper thing and cell phone thing. They got Syrian the terrorists to buy these things. They felt that they were going to be exposed, so they let them go. That's why even during that October 7th, they were in their sites, Israel sites back then.
It's kind of crazy. So, Govy, if you're living under a rock somewhere and you don't know the story, Israel gave these Hezbollah fighters, right? All these beepers, 2,400 of them, right? Was it
2,400 people are hurt?
And simultaneously, they sent a signal to all these beepers and made them blow up. And it killed a bunch of these Hezbollah guys, but injured them all. And evidently
37 died and injured like 3,000.
And in the Islamic religion, your balls are your balls are like sacred or something. And all these beepers were in these guys' pockets, and it blew their balls up. I'm not kidding, folks. It blew their balls up and killed a lot. How many? 30?
But here's the best. The best part is Kamala Harris and AOC and Bernie Sanders. They didn't like that when Israel fired a rocket into a hospital because there were 100 Hamas terrorists in there, and some civilians were killed because they had to kill these. They wanted them to do a better job that no civilians should get hurt. Well, this time they decided to come up with a way just to kill the terrorists, and now they think that that's still not good enough for Israel.
because 2 people died.
Yeah, but it's still not good. What do they want them to do? Meanwhile, there's an American hostages that are still there.
Right.
How are we supposed to get them out?
Well, I think that, somebody, this Bibi Netanyahu or whatever's got to call Iran and say, you see what we just did, folks? We got 20 buildings in Iran wired, and you have 15 minutes to let them go or we start blowing up your nukes and your gas tanks.
Right. Or if you make toast tonight, your toaster oven might go. Let them think that whatever they do, they can be because they're taking out people left and right. So it's unbelievable. Just
this is the last thing I'll say, and then we got to go. Our show's over. It went so fast, but it's crazy. This October 7th happened. They missed the intelligence on that, but yet they could do all this stuff with these beepers.
And Benjamin Netanyahu right now, who they were protesting every weekend that no one liked him. He was basically not a popular guy. They wanted him gone. Is now popular because of what he just pulled off. I like him too. Cheltenham product too.
Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Anyway, Govy, what a great show. And we're here at Stella Mix, our new podcast studio. It's soundproof. We don't have noise out there. It's thundering and raining really bad here in Boca. We don't even hear it.
Yeah, this is perfect.
This is perfect.
And we're going to see you guys next week.
All right, folks, root for Govy's picks.
See ya.
See ya.